Havade, my name is Analee Villagomez. I am Chamorro. I live here in the island of Saipan and come from a really large family. I live in Esperito, but grew up in, well, at least I could say that I grew up in Chalancanoa because my grandmother was there and I went to school there. I find myself going back to that village just to feel at home again because of my childhood. It is a privilege to be an islander here in the CNMI. I understand that I'm here and it's a U.S. territory, like Guam, American Samoa, Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. There are those 5 U.S. territories, and so I think that with the language fading away and the culture, this has driven me to do a lot of creative things with art. So I'm an artist, and I have worked with a lot of canvases, with the medium of acrylic being the medium. And I have worked with resin to do some other art. And then I switched over to jewelry because I went to the Northern Islands, I lived there, returning with a lot of shells and was gifted orange spondylus shells. I did not know what to do with them until I heard the story behind what that was. It was Chamorro beads. So Chamorro money beads became a thing at my level now. I understand what it is. So I use art to reach out to the people to revive Marianas. If you think about it, if the culture and the language is fading away, tradition, you might want to think about reviving it. So because of all those amazing people when I was younger, I saw a teacher who moved from Guam to Marianas High School. She was teaching dancing, like she was teaching all the cultural dances, and I was like, wow, that's nice. I have my uncle who was always camping. He was part of the Boy Scouts, and he taught us how to camp and stuff like that, and it made me understand nature. My dad fished a lot. We would hold the guagua, the sack, and walk with him. And, during all that times of learning how to fish and catch it, I understood shells, but never to an extent where I understand how to make jewelry out of it. Just being a farmer's daughter and a fisherman's daughter made me so in tune with being an islander. And my dad with his village Jeep, we always get on it and we drive around the island and they wonder, and then how come you always at the road? How come you always want to be out there? You always want to be adventurous. And I think it has a lot to do with my family, not just my dad, but also my families. They all did that. We got on the boat and we went places. So for my dad, he got us in the Jeep and he would just drive, and it seemed like he doesn't know who lives in that area, but he just goes in there and says, with his kids in the back and the wife and the passenger, he would just be like, oh, we're just looking for a place we're looking for this place, or we didn't know we were gonna end up here. So he just wants to drive and see what's in every corner of Saipan. So nowadays when they're like, how come you always do this and that? And I said, even at night, daytime, I wanna be wherever it is, whatever time, just to see what kind of people, what do they do, where are they, what do they do, and what's all the fuss or what's great out there at different times. So I tell them, this is my home. So when I see someone not doing the right thing, I have to say something, because even if I'm not from that village, I'm gonna be like, hey, what are you doing? The entire CNMI is my home. So when I go to the islands north of Saipan, the volcanic islands, I do it now a lot more, because when I first saw it, I went up there to bring the absentee ballots, and when I saw Pagan, I was just like, I was so changed about it. I couldn't believe that we have a CNMI. We have a CNMI that we can come to and say, hey, it's not just about Saipan, it's not just about Rota or Tinian. We have Guam, but politically, that's a different area. But as a Marianas, you would think when you're from Marianas, you're thinking Guam, Rota, Tinian, Saipan. That's it. But when I saw islands north of Saipan, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the CNMI. This is ours. This is what they were saying. When I went to Guam, I was taught by so many people there, amazing people, educated people, about the history. So it looks like I saw the place and I thought, okay, so this is where all the Chamorros were all over the place, and the Spaniards came and took him all the way down to Guam because of religion. And now I'm seeing that little by little we start to spread out. So whatever it is that we are fading out of, language, culture, tradition, heritage, all of that stuff, I thought that having gone up there and learning about shells and then spreading the word that way, and then I'm going, it's not enough, because you know what? There are people that feel like they lost their identity. If I bring them up there, they would absolutely start believing that there's something more than just what they think they are. They can find themselves back again into our ancestors where they live off the land. So when I went up there, I found tranquility and I was able to learn more about myself. I think that going up north would be good for the people that feel like they need to run away. So I always tell people, you know what, when you go north, it's really not running away, it's getting away. You want to just get away and then you come back different. So once you find yourself going up north, you find yourself in a situation where you have to get along with everybody. And that's how life, I believe, was before. Having lived in Agrigan, I saw it, where they say the Villagomez, when they come together, they share everything. Everybody owns the same thing. So when I went up there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I see it. When they go fishing and they catch the fish, it's everyone's fish. They catch the pig, it's everybody's food. And then if there's any imported things like, you know, let's say soba or all kinds of stuff that come in, it's everybody with this, they spread the love. And you know, the thing is, when you go up there, it's about survival. So if you are going to cook something, you need wood. Who's gonna get the wood? Who's gonna get the food? Who's gonna catch it? Who's gonna do all of these things? Who's gonna prepare things? Because when it's over here, you just plug it. That's gonna do the job. Turn it on, the gas is gonna turn on the fire. So when you go up there, you have to come together as a community together, no matter what, who looks like what, or who's this, who's married to who, it doesn't matter, you have to come together and be together. So that's what I realized about the followers, what they meant by what's yours is also theirs. And then I come here and I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's like locking their door, or mine is mine, or where's my purse, put it over here, you know. But having returned from there after studying, learning about living off the land and staying away from processed foods, having gone up there, because that helped me go up there to cleanse, to detox. I went up there and I learned more than just that, where you detox, lose weight, and become healthier. I learned that when you have nothing else to help you move on with your day, you need each other. Storytelling is a very important thing, because like I'm doing now, my experiences, I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my heart that telling people about what we are and what we have is very important, because when we lose touch with nature, with the land, we lose touch with what matters. And the reason why it touches me, because a lot of people don't understand the value of your identity. Some people get lost with leaving the place and never coming back because the convenience. But when you come back and you understand the value of being a family, the value of what an island can provide you without having to work so hard getting a job. When you understand the value of a family, then you understand the value of your identity. Because being an islander is like, it's like being on being on a ship that's wrecked. You know, it's a big ship with the same thing to do every single time, with the same routine. So it's like a wrecked ship, a shipwreck in the middle of the ocean, and people need to get along. And people get tired and they leave, they go to college and might not even come back, you know? So it's really important that people understand what a family means. And when you're being a family, it means that you cook together, you help each other out. And over here, there's too many things to do when I'm here. I don't know how to edit. I'm not really doing my art anymore. I want to do something else. I want to leave. I always want to leave Saipan. But when I saw the islands north, I tell people, you know what? Home is not just about Saipan or going to Tinian or having a vacation in Guam and shopping. If you see the islands north of Saipan, you are going to say, I am from the Marianas. And you know what? We have volcanoes. We are in the ring of fire. We have islands north that have abundance. They have large fish. They have large coconut crabs. They have these fruit bats that are endangered here. It's abundant over there. We have all these beautiful shells that now we're being told that we might have to restrict it. So, it's like you have all these abundance, black sand, you have pozzolan, you have so much coconut trees, you have copra before, you have so many beautiful rocks, volcanic rocks, and we don't even know what else is up there. We don't even know. We have a lot of World War II debris. They have a lot of these U.S. Navy plates, spoons, forks made out of silver. I think they're silver. I just know that they're there. All these pots and pans, they're still there and we still use it. So there have wrecked airplanes there. And some people are talking about lost treasures from the Spaniards. I have no idea. I just know that there's so much up there that if those people, the right people go up there, they could discover so much. Scientists and all that stuff. I remember they always say to respect your elders, regardless. That has gone so far. Respecting the elders to me means that we will always have respect. To Amen. Nyora nyot. Nyora came from senora. Nyot came from señor. So a male is nyot, a female is nyora, and that's when you bless a person if they're older or that's your uncle, auntie, and all that other levels. But respect is very important. So they say to respect your elders, and the biggest sign of respect is when you amen, when you señora or nyot. And I like that part too because it's nice to be blessed. Dios te zuri. God bless you. It's good to bless people. It's not a curse. It's a great one. It's a great blessing. Every time you have to go into the jungle, you have to ask permission that you're entering an area. Dispensa. Usually they say, "Gualo dispensa sa o necesita umalom gini na lugar or si necesita musa kemon dispensa zu por favor acepta sa tagizugit na noo serizu zanmato gilogato molikatoro." So there's that part where you have to go to the jungle and you ask permission that you're entering an area, or if you're going to use the restroom, you have to ask that you're going to deposit that kind of stuff. I'm sorry. That way you don't come home wondering wherever you came from, wondering. It's important that you ask so that when you come home and they tell you what did you do in the jungle, where, and then you're like, I don't remember. It's better to just ask and stay away from all that kind of trouble, because when you go home and you're sick, they're going to be like, what did you do in the jungle? Where did you go? And then if you don't remember, then that's going to be difficult to go back and say, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I've encountered a lot of stories that say they went in the jungle, they got sick, they went to see a Siruana or a Siruana, a witch doctor or a local doctor. And then they say, this is what you did. And they're like, how did they know? How did they know that that's what I did? You need to go back and say you're sorry. So the problem is when you don't know where it is, then it's going to be hard to be forgiven. So I've heard stories where when they say they were sorry, when they go back and they say they're sorry, they give something back in return, or they just come back and say, I'm sorry. Then they get healed really fast, like a miracle. So there's other things too where it's like, if you're going to the jungle and you're going to get like coconuts, like there's a story about Pagan where this person went up and started getting coconuts, came home with a hand got pok, it got really fat. And they say, you did something. And it's like, I was taking a lot of coconuts for the ride back on the boat. So yeah, that's another thing. So imagine you have to go all the way up back to Pagan Bible just to say I'm sorry. So I don't know what happened to that kid. They still are very relevant, especially when you go to the jungle. And it makes me think that if you believe in it, then it'll take effect. Because there are some people, like people that are not from here, they come here and then they go into the jungle and they do their science things or their exploration, but never get sick. So how they say, ano hongi pues masucede sempre ang gintion hongi pues tisinya. So sometimes they say, well, if you believe in it, then it's going to happen. So don't let that get to you. Don't believe that these things really happen. Don't believe in witchcraft. Don't believe in this because then and I'm like, I do believe in our ancestors being out there, the animas, but sometimes I don't want to believe in witchcraft or any of those. I respect it, but I don't necessarily say I'm able to be affected by it, because if you believe it, right? Because I believe that I'm strong. I believe that my ancestors are behind me. I believe that they're protecting me. So if I believe that they're there, then I believe I'm protected. So if I don't believe that I'm protected and I'm being told that, oh, you're going to get in trouble if you do this, and if you do this, then you're going to piss them off or you're going to upset them. I'm like, my ancestors are behind me. I'm doing great things in life. I'm not trying to hurt people. The very important message that I like to send out is for people to understand what identity means to the self. Because if a person doesn't know who they are, or because if you understand that you're Chamorro, then you're Chamorro, and understand what's behind that story of being a Chamorro. Because if you don't, you're going to end up wondering if you should go out at night and be at the club or be a gang in terms of it could cause trouble kind of gang. Or you might not understand the importance of fishing, and then you end up just eating food from the stores. You don't become that warrior as a Chamorro that builds you as a person, where you're confident enough to say, yeah, I'm Islander. I don't need to do those things that they do on the TV and in social media. I am comfortable with my skin. So it is important for you to understand your identity, because it's a fact. If you're a Chamorro, you're Chamorro. And if you're not Chamorro, but you're from an island, like here, for example, then be that. If you think you cannot wear local jewelry just because you're not Chamorro, then you're wrong. You need to be that identity, and you are an island person. If you're born somewhere else and you come here and you feel this is home, be that person. Be an islander. Be like Chamorro if you want. Because Chamorros will respect you more if you respect their culture and their language and everything else. Everything Chamorro you do around Chamorros is great, because it's going to work out. That's what you call together, working together. That's a community that works. But if you come here and you try to challenge the Chamorros or the Falawash, if you challenge the people where you are, where they belong, if you challenge them, then you're just actually causing friction. And that's not what we want in the world.